Alyssa, and I wanted to thank you for tuning into this week's ONSC Live episode. You might be wondering, what is all that noise behind me? There are a bunch of spring peepers, which is also the answer to this week's riddle. So we're going to learn a little bit more about what a spring peeper is. Well, better get to it. The spring peeper is a small, light brown colored frog with the scientific name of Pseudacris crucifer. The word crucifer means carrying a cross, and if you look closely at a spring peeper, you will notice a big X on its back, kind of like a cross. Watch where you step in the springtime, because spring peepers are tiny little guys, growing to be less than 2 inches long. The spring peeper is in class Amphibia, which includes frogs, toads, and salamanders in North America. Amphibians are exothermic, meaning that their body temperature is determined by the outside temperature. If it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside, then it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit inside the amphibian's body. Their skin is thin and moist, so they need a source of water to survive. If the water is polluted, the amphibian will absorb all those chemicals through their skin, and unfortunately, they will die. Amphibians lay jelly-like eggs either in the water or in a moist area. Order Anura contains frogs and toads. Frogs are relatively small and compact four-legged animals that are excellent jumpers. The spring peeper is part of the Hylidae family, or tree frog family. Although it doesn't have the big sticky toe pads on the toes like other tree frogs do, it can still easily climb trees. However, they seem to prefer life on the ground. The spring peeper can be found in almost the entire eastern half of North America, including all of Arkansas. This frog mostly breeds in forests that contain ephemeral pools. These are small ponds that are formed by snowmelt in the springtime and dry up before the end of the summer. Small frogs like spring peepers select these wetlands to lay their eggs in because they do not contain fish, which are predators of tadpoles. Anurans are well known for their springtime songs. They sing by inflating the vocal pouch, which is a section of thin and loose skin located on the throat. In Arkansas, spring peepers can start calling as early as January and go through May. Although calling is usually done at night, frogs and toads will also call during the day. The males sing in ponds to attract females. Let's take a moment to listen to the spring peepers peeping at the Ozark Natural Science Center pond. When a male and female meet, they mate with the small male gripping the back of the large female. This posture is called amplexus. A female will lay 750 to 1,300 eggs, which she attaches singly to vegetation in the water. A few days later, the tadpoles hatch and become frogs in 1.5 to 3 months. This process of going through phases, or morphs, is called metamorphosis. Some frog species take over a year to develop from tadpoles into adults. Spring peepers don't take nearly as long due to the fact that their pond can dry up in a few months. This species is estimated to live 3 years in the wild. As adults, spring peepers are carnivorous, meaning that they eat meat only. Some of their favorite foods are ants, beetles, flies, and especially spiders. But when they're tadpoles, spring peepers are herbivorous, meaning that they eat only plant material. The tadpoles like to eat algae and decaying plant material. Spring peepers have several notable adaptations. An adaptation is something that helps an animal survive. One is camouflage, which is when an animal is able to blend in with its surroundings. The light brown color allows the spring peeper to disguise itself in woody material. The stripes on the back break up the shape of the frog, so it's harder to detect in its environment. Another adaptation the spring peeper has is the ability to freeze almost its entire body during winter hibernation and survive. Its body produces glycerol, an antifreeze that prevents ice crystals from forming inside of the cells. Instead, only the area outside of the cells freeze, which keeps the frog alive. If there is a dry spell, spring peepers will hide out in caves, which have high humidity and moisture.
Well, that's the end of this week's ONSC Live video. I hope you learned a little bit more about spring peepers. And hey, who knows, you might have some by you, so go ahead and take a listen and see what you can find. Thank you. Have a good one.